And in Toronto, there are still about 23,000 people in the dark. Hydro workers are certainly working round the clock to get the power lines restored. But there are some important things to consider about getting your home back in shape when the power finally comes back on. Here to break it down for us is Brent Jeffreys. He's a home inspector and owner of Classic Home Inspections. So, Brent, let's just assume that you've been away from your house because the power has been off, and you get word the power's back on, so you go there, you walk in the front door. What's the first thing you need to check or do? Well,
the first thing you don't want to do is walk in the front door.
Okay.
What you want to do is really an exterior checklist to make sure that there's no overhanging trees, there's no wires down on the property, there's no damage really to the exterior, but more importantly, take precautionary, is there a tree limb that's cracked off the tree but hasn't necessarily landed yet?
So there could be risks of some structural damage.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to do a walk around of the perimeter, make sure that everything is okay. If you deem it safe, then enter the home.
Okay.
Just don't run into the home and, we all get excited because the power's back on. We just turn things on. You don't want to do that. You want to enter the home with caution and make sure there's been no flooding. If there's been flooding, just do a U-turn and leave the home.
Really? So,
absolutely,
because again, the first thing, your inclination is, what can I do to sort of clean up the mess?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you say, just, it's a menace, it's dangerous, so get out.
It is, absolutely, because the fact that the flooding can cause problems with the electrical.
Right.
And can put a current into the water, the flooding area, and which can obviously be a hazard for a person.
Okay, so let's assume all dry and all clear.
You're good to go.
So then what are you looking for?
You're good to go. Again, you want to take your time. You don't want to be over anxious. Take your time, turn on a light bulb at a time.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I lied. First thing you want to do is make sure that if any appliances were left on, that they're still not on. Because you've walked into the property, maybe the power could have been put on 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, half hour ago before you've entered the home.
We hear things like power surges, right? So that's
absolutely,
a problem,
absolutely. Yeah. And that can cause a lot of problem to a homeowner. I believe in Toronto here, there was a fire.
Yeah, big fire.
I believe it was an appliance that may have caused that. Or some faulty wiring, who knows, but certainly. So again, take your time walking through, turn on a light bulb at a time.
Okay.
Light bulbs are very low voltage. So if it was to pop or anything was to happen with the light bulb when you turn it on, no, you would want to leave because there perhaps is an issue with the electrical in the home. If there's no issues, again, take it room at a time. If there's no flooding, take it a room at a time and just, turn on a light bulb at a time and then gradually turn on the other appliances, the lighting, the heating, and then make sure that the actual appliances are okay themselves.
Okay, so is there anything, as you say, instincts kick in when you walk in and everything looks good and your electrical outlets seem to be good. Your inclination is furnace, right? Let's get to the furnace.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What's the drill? What's the best way?
Well, what you want to do, again, approach it with caution. You can turn on the furnace. A furnace really, if it's not an electric furnace, there's not many electric furnaces out there, but most are gas or some type of fossil fuel. It's a low voltage, so you can turn it on. However, if it doesn't turn on, then there's obviously a problem. So then you'd have to call in an appropriate service person to come service the furnace, take a closer look at it. But generally speaking, that furnace, again, if it hasn't turned on within the first few minutes, then there could very well likely be a problem.
Okay, let's assume the furnace, it seems to be working, all systems go there. I think the next thing for people, front of mind, is water, right? Again, what do you need to be doing just to make sure that you don't have problems,
again,
you're not creating problems?
Absolutely, when you're doing the checklist, walking through the home, look below all the sinks, look in the basement first to see if there's been any flooding with the plumbing. If it wasn't from an exterior issue, look to see, look below all of the vanities, and then gradually turn on all the taps, starting from the basement and making your way up and through the home. Okay.
Sounds like everything now is running as you would hope.
Yes.
But I would think this is a perfect time to consider prevention as well. If you think, okay, we're good to go, we've put this behind us, but is there anything for future reference that people might want to think about now, just to protect their homes a little bit better in the event of some future power outage?
Absolutely. I mean, certainly with this, I've considered now getting a generator. A friend of mine had a generator and really wasn't affected by this at all. And he's still out of power. However, I'm sorry, his neighborhood's still out of power, but he's had a generator.
He was a very popular guy, I'm sure.
Yes, he had a few generators, actually. He runs a business, so he actually had a few generators.
Okay.
And so he's been sharing the wealth, so to speak.
Good to keep it in mind.
Yeah, so a generator would not be a waste of money, not at all.
Now, what I find interesting here is you bring your expertise to this story, but you also bring your personal experience. You've been out of power for the week.
Over a week, absolutely.
Your wife's about to have a baby. How's that working?
It's been okay. I mean, we roughed it for probably 2-3 nights. I think a lot of people have it worse than we do because we actually were able to get to in-laws. They live north of the city, and they've been perfectly fine. They've been very hospitable, very nice to us, and
the kindness of family,
so
friends, and neighbors can
yes,
really matter.
That's when family kicks in. Yes, so both sides of the family have been excellent.
Well, Brent, good to talk to you. Good luck with the baby.
Oh,
and
thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Good
for having
advice.
me on. Thank you, Nancy.